Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings, peoplings everywhere on planet Earth. Hope you're all having a nice weekend. I'm on with the maintenance, DIY cleaning. Thank goodness the storm finished, the rain's finished. Right, let's get straight into it. A couple of things I want to talk about today. Mostly the Prince of Wales, Prince William. Let's talk about this. He's not allowed to go and visit Diddley Squat Farm. He's not allowed to go and talk to Jeremy Clarkson. Remember last few videos I've said to you, they're very demanding, aren't they? Meghan's maggots. I'm not calling them sugars anymore. They're maggots. Meghan's maggots. I command. You didn't ask my permission. And then there are these other fans of hers that say we're all being horribly unfair, calling her demanding diva duchess because she's nothing of the sort. Well, let's run through a few little things, shall we? Let's start with the engagement interview. I won't harp on too long. She said, I just had one question. Is he nice? Because if he's not nice, then it wouldn't work for me. All about her, wasn't it? Nothing about the guy she's apparently going on a blind date with that she never heard of before in her life. Yeah, I think we all know that. But it was all about her. Wouldn't work for me. And that's why they called her in the palace me, I suppose. Let's go to the next one. Harry famously saying to Angela Kelly and others, what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. Okay. The Sandringham Summit, which I have covered before, in her own words, on her own Netflix docuseries, of which she had full editorial control. She complained and said she wasn't allowed to join in with the Sandringham Summit because it would affect the rest of my life, right? Just her life, not Harry's. Not her two children. Let's just put the late monarch, the current monarch, and the current Prince of Wales. Let's just put a pin in them for a minute. Think about that statement on Netflix, because I've been thinking about it more and more. So they're going to have this big meeting, and I'm not allowed to join in when it could affect the rest of my life. So you don't have two kids. You don't have a world-famous prince who you married, who gave you a platform to do all the shit you've done. Oh, that's right, because the wedding, the spectacle, was all about Meghan Markle. Nobody would have watched if Harry had been marrying anybody else. Nobody would have watched. There would have been no press. There would have been no TV. There would have been no expense. It would have been a nice, cheap little shotgun wedding. It was only a big fancy do because Meghan was getting married. Yeah? So anyone out there who still is buying the cutesy pootsy, oh, I'm all about my jam, I'm just little old me, just think about this. Go back, it's all over YouTube, the internet, Google News, it's everywhere. It's called Stains on History. So the Sandringham Summit was going to affect the rest of her life. If he wasn't nice, it wouldn't work for me. What Meghan wants, Meghan gets. And who does this little old lady think she is? The Queen of England? Who does this man think he is? The Prince of Wales? And now, William, I do hope you're watching. You must in future understand that you're talking to the Duchess of the Moon, the Earth, the stars, Mars, and all the interplanetary universes, right? Prince William, future monarch, Prince of Wales. Wouldn't you mind please awfully begging for permission from Meghan, your sister-in-law, a little fucking nobody ever fucking heard of before you go talking to some legend like Jeremy Clarkson, who for years and years and years has done Top Gear and entertained people, and is right now, as I said, when he was criticised at the time for his rather clumsy, what do they call it? Well, he did some piece for The Sun, didn't he? And instead of actually putting, I'm referring to Game of Thrones, he just put this, what came across as a ghastly thing to say about anybody. And me not being a Game of Thrones fan, I've never watched, I tried. I watched the first 2 or 3 minutes and the sex and I'm sorry, no, I had to turn it off. I'm sorry, I can't get past that. It's one of those Netflix things, isn't it? They like to hack limbs off poke eyes out, loads of sex, film someone on the toilet doing their business, get really graphic. I'm sorry, no. And I'm not a prude, all right? But no, I don't want to see all that sort of stuff. So getting back to Clarkson, I said at the time that he was criticised, what a wonderful job he's doing by highlighting the plight of the British farmers and pointing out how bloody hard they work and how bloody impossible it is to get anything done or turn a profit. So we've got a future monarch who wants to help the people of his country. I know Clarkson, I don't think Clarkson's in Wales, is he? He's in Cotswolds, lives near that, I don't know, life coach, Dick, who was trolling Trevor, the one that's, I think, mates with Harry, you know. So the Prince has gone to try and help highlight the plight of farmers and talk to someone like Jeremy. And then we get Meghan's maggots saying, how dare William, how dare you, William? Are you getting it? That I'm talking to the fans of Meghan and Harry who are not Meghan's maggots. They're not these die-hard paid for sugars, PR, little cretins, like little leeches and roaches all over the internet. Nice people who have just come in on it. They're not that invested. They don't really care. And they're thinking, you know, why is everybody so hard on Meghan? Poor on Megsy. Well, there's a lot more than what I'm talking about. But does William really have to be commanded to by Harry and Meghan? I don't think so. And there are many, many other instances of her demanding, and it's all about her, which has been covered by a multitude of YouTubers, highly talented YouTubers. Thank God for the YouTubers, because a lot of the real royal correspondents just haven't covered it. They've gotten a little more brave, if you notice, these supposed royal experts over the last few years. I mean, at one point, they were positively siding with Meghan, like, oh, these racist, fat, ugly old women. You know, they really didn't want to go there. That's how I got into watching the YouTubers in the first place, because I'd watch some royal correspondent who'd basically say a lot of fuck all, and I'd think, well, I'm none the wiser. And then I found the wonderful Taz, and then I found Murky, and then I found Wally, and then I found others, Busy Bee, Daily Empress, Princess Tiffany, she's a good one. And I found all these people, and they've all got different opinions, and I would love listening to them. The news slots, you know, they're like Sky News, not Sky News Australia, Sky News just the UK version. They'll drone on and on and on and on and on about the same subject for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, boring the shit out of everybody. Royal correspondent comes on because something big's happened with royal family. Royal correspondent gets about 30 seconds airtime, then Sky News UK go back to droning on and on and on and on. So that's how I really got into it. I thought, you know, is it just me? Is anybody else around here watching this shit? Is anybody else can see what's going on here? They got a right little madam in the palace. Now, that brings me to another thing, of course, is Majesty the King, as we all know, has been in hospital momentarily, come out. We all know what the palace has said. What I will say is that when you've got a couple of troublesome people like Harry and Meghan in your life, it will bring the family members down. Now, if we cast our mind back, I mean, Sarah, Duchess of York. I'm not saying it's anything to do with Harry and Meghan, but, you know, she's had her own woes. Obviously, that part of the family's had a lot of stress. Although Prince Andrew, would Prince Andrew have had a lot of this stress at a certain person? No, I won't. No, I wouldn't be so mean. No, but we do all wonder, don't we? We all wonder. Because she couldn't recognise him. When she met him, she thought he was the Queen's official handbag carrier, didn't she? Even though she's mates with his daughter, Eugenie. Yeah. Mind you, she never heard of Prince Harry either. She just don't know. She just little old me. And as for curtsying, well, we all saw that, didn't we? I went, what boy, it's all about her. And it's demanding. Commanding. She commands. Her and her maggots command. Meghan's maggots. Well, it's no wonder, is it? That's various members of the family, and even those that have not been diagnosed or no one said they've got ill health, look kind of ground down, don't we? They've got the late Prince Philip. It was pretty bloody obvious to everybody what was going on there. The late Majesty, it was pretty bloody obvious. Even though the palace just said, oh no, it's nothing. It's nothing to worry about, nothing, move along, nothing to see here. Well, I suppose what else can they say? And they're going to do the same for the current monarch. And I think it's really... in the poorest of taste to talk about somebody's death before they've died and who's going to take the job next. And I don't think that Prince William would like that. And I pray that the king has a long reign and that Prince William can do his thing and that the whole family can recover and heal from, quite frankly, this bitch that cretinous Harry allowed into the family. All because she had, I don't know, Cincinnati grip or some shit like that. That's what they always said about Wallace, wasn't it? Although I think Wallace was a class act, you know. I know a lot of people compare Meghan and Wallace, but I always thought Wallace was like up there, and this woman who demands, I command you, how dare William go and highlight the plight of the British farmer. Clarkson is so popular, and no, he wasn't cancelled, maggots. You tried and failed. And, you know, he didn't get on with Piers Morgan for years. They hated each other. They were nemesis. But then one day, I think they even had a little punch up at one point. One day, they're both grown men. They went, for fuck's sake, this is ridiculous. And they get on perfectly all right. They're both very outspoken, strong characters of different natures. So what is it, Megsy's maggots? So, before Prince William or any other member of the royal family, who, by the way, you maggots despise, oh, but you want Megsy to keep her title so she can monetize. Yeah, maggots. Every single member of the British royal family has to phone Megsy up and beg forgiveness and say, oh, I want to go and do an interview with someone. Do they have any, like, stains on their copybook? Is there anything that you don't like, Your Majesty of the Moon and the Stars? How about fuck off, Meghan? Prince William can do exactly what he likes. He can talk to who he likes. He doesn't need your fucking permission. No one cares, Meghan. Nobody cares. Rein your little maggots in on Twitter. Get rid of them, sack them, delete them, whatever they are. Appeal to them. Say, please stop doing what you're doing because you're like poison. You really are the ultimate poison chalice. I bet old Paltrow's discovering that to her cost at the moment. What a silly cow. Trying to do publicity stunts, the two of them together to pump up their, I don't know, rich women's problems. Oh, here's a breakfast that took me 2.5 hours to make. What shall I do with the rest of my day? How's about this? Anyway, I'm back to my DIY now. I hope you're all having a fabulous day. I just thought I'd point that out for the few people, and I don't believe there are many people left, who actually think, oh, poor old Megsy, poor old Megsy. Megsy is a control freak. Megsy is a demanding duchess. She shouldn't even be a duchess. I agree with Lady C. She and Harry should be deleted from the royal website. There is no need for them to be there. They don't do any royal work. They haven't for 5 years. They don't represent anybody. They don't have any patronages connected to the royal family. They don't have any appointments. They are nothing, nada, zilch, zero. Get rid of them. Why are they even on the website? Wishing His Majesty the King a lovely resting time, and I hope he feels better soon. And I love the fact that he's continuing with his engagements, because I'll tell you something. This is something really, really important. I can't say it often enough. Obviously, getting a diagnosis like that is devastating. But for Graham, having all of you guys and being able to talk to you in the last couple of years, I can't tell you how much it made a difference to his life. I mean, he lit up. And that's what people want. If they've had a terrible diagnosis, the last thing they want is everybody crying around them and throwing sackcloth and ashes and, oh, we must all cry, which is what the maggots want. That, well, mind your business. You go tend to your dying husband. Remember all that, maggots? Hey, Megsy, can you hear me? Yeah, because I'm not going to forget any of that. Not a fucking thing, ever. That's the last thing an ill person wants. An ill person wants everybody to treat them as normal and let them join in to the bitter end, to be a part of it and not to be excluded. Maggots. That's what they want. There are currently 3 members of the royal family that I know of that have cancer diagnosis. Thankfully, the Princess of Wales is in the clear, but no one always knows. And then I look at Andrew and I look at Edward and even Sophie at times, they just look ground down. Let me make this clear as I end the video for Meghan's maggots. She's never going to sit on the throne. The only throne she's going to sit on is her toilet, which is really appropriate, because that's where all the shit that comes out of her mouth can go, and then it can be flushed appropriately. In everybody else, thank you for listening. Look forward to seeing you in the comments. May your God go with you. I'll see you later.